at the size of this thing.
Your unprofessional toy reviewer Hasbro's back to bring you an exciting Transformers Studio Series action figure which just arrived at my local retail store. With that said, it's number 22 of the series, and this is Decepticon Dropkick. Looking forward to this review. I hope you are too. Let's do this. Taking a look at the packaging is partake of every single video review on this channel, and it's your generic, stylized Studio Series packaging. Number 22, there's a good look at the figure himself, or the character of said figure would be more accurate. Studio Series Dropkick, Decepticon logo, ages 8 and plus, Hasbro, Takara Tomy, Transformers, going up to the Misaligned Generations logo at the top right corner. Yes! At the top of the packaging, we have Transformers Bumblebee with a very nice open window here to get some light on top of the figure from inside. Taking a look on the side here, and here we have an open window container which is revealing an Autobot logo for the backdrop, which we'll take a look at the final part of this video review. Here's a look at the character once again. Looks pretty cool. Down below that, we've got the authentic Transformer stamp, which, to remind you, if it doesn't say authentic, it's a knockoff. On the other side of the packaging here, we have number 22. A good look at Dropkick once again. It's Studio Series right there. Deluxe class, not much else to say. Right, I understand it's crooked, but it looks pretty straight to me. But anyway, back to the back of the packaging for the part of the review here. And here we've got the big screen inspired scale detail information regarding of Transformers Bumblebee Dropkick. The backdrop that the figure comes with is the Autobot Pursuit. That don't look like no Autobot Pursuit here. It just looks like a bunch of missiles firing into the sky. The figure transforms in 24 steps, from helicopter to robot, from robot back to helicopter. Sorry, no triple changing transformation, guys. Dropkick detects the signal of a high-level Autobot criminal and prepares to close in on his target. Speaking of which, other figures available here from the Build-A-Cast is number 18 Bumblebee, number 17 Shadow Raider, number 23 KSI Sentry. Are you just making something up? Officially licensed by Bell Helicopter here, and that's pretty much all I know about this company, or basically the helicopter that you're about to see in just a moment. Taking a look at the Bell Helicopter, I'm assuming that's the name of the thing. It is pretty much what it is. It's a deluxe size Transformer action figure that transforms from a very small robot to a very small helicopter. Got some nice details going on here. As you can see, we got the old USA logo right there. We got 001, whatever that means. Jet intake danger! Danger, danger, danger. Woo, woo, woo. Got a very nice skull and crossbones right there with a very damaged waving flag. Underneath all that, we've got an hourglass symbol, which I don't understand, but still pretty cool. I like it. Oh, that's actually it. There's nothing here on the tail of the helicopter from that side or this side. There's a little bit of some lights down here, obviously for the knees in robot mode. A little minigun here that's attached to the front is movable from side to side, but it doesn't go up or down. It's not on a ball joint, which kind of makes sense, which is why you would see these kind of helicopters flying at an angle like this instead of just straight. The propeller blade on the back tail of the helicopter does spin freely on its own, while the only way to rotate the propeller for the top of the helicopter is to manually do it yourself. As you can see, we got some rocket launchers here on the side of the helicopter attached to the wing, which would be pretty accurate as far as I know for this thing. You can see we got the obvious hand syndrome here, but you know, for the engineering, it's not that bad. It's pretty well hidden for what it is. But everything else is pretty much on the inside of the transformation. There's the obvious head right there, but yeah, that doesn't count. Alright, so I pretty much said everything that I wanted to say about the helicopter mode, which isn't really that bad. I mean, you know, scale-wise, out of the way. I mean, it is a pretty cool-looking helicopter for what it is. But there's one other thing that we need to do before we move on to robot mode, and that's dare to compare with the only other Transformer Bumblebee action figure out of the Studio Series so far, and that's Deluxe Bumblebee. And yes, this is silly as all can be for the scale in this vehicle form. But if you think that's something, get a load of this. Right, to start off the 22 steps of transformation on this guy, first thing you want to do is remove, obviously, the missiles right here on the wings. And what we're going to do next is we're going to take this lower section here of the cockpit and we're going to split it from the top of the window like so. Take these panels and flip them up. They tab in pretty securely in helicopter mode, but we're going to bring them up now, just get them out of the way. Go ahead and come underneath where this section just split like so. Just get it out of the way. Next thing you want to do is swing out on these hinges here, the front section of the helicopter, just like that. And we're going to bring that forward like so. Once again, swing it forward just like that. Okay, so we're going to swing up the machine gun inside like so. Then we're going to take this section here on the double hinge and we're going to line it up right here and tab it in just like that. What we can do next is take the landing gear here and we can swing it back just like this, fold it in, and then we're going to take the wing and we're going to collapse that just like that. And then we shall rotate on the thigh joint here this way, and there we have one leg completed as I fold it down like so. There you have it. Repeat the same process on this side, only no minigun to have to worry about on this side here. And we're going to swing all this forward like so, tab it in, take this, rotate it back, fold that in, take the wing. This one's on a very tight connection, bring that down like so. Rotate once again at the thigh section until it's completely forward like so, and there you have the legs of Dropkick in his robot mode. Come back to the tail of the helicopter and we're going to untab it all just like that, split it apart. These intakes we're going to flip up and get them out of the way like so. We're going to take this whole tail section here and we're going to swing it back like so, bringing it up on the ball joint just like that. Repeat the same thing on this side here. There you have that. Come to the front of the cockpit. Swing this section down like so. This door will open up. Swing this entire section here around. Be very mindful of the hip joints that could possibly get in the way here. Once that's completed, bring down the arms. On this hinge right here where my thumb is pointing, we're going to swing that up like so. That's going to create the chest of the robot. And then we're going to tab it in right here on a very weak clip, but it will all come together once we get the chest down. Grabbing that bit, we just swing forward. Let's swing down the shoulder. And we're going to untab it from here. And we're going to rotate on the bicep just like that. What you want to do next is take this panel here and swing this around like so. And this panel will pretty much follow the same thing like that. Make sure to swing the shoulder all the way out like so to complete the arm. Pretty much repeat the same thing on this side. Swing this down, swing this up. Make sure it tabs in like so. Once we have all that tabbed in, we can go ahead and bring down the chest section. Make sure that's tabbed in. And then we can close up the cockpit window like so. And that should keep everything locked in place in this area. Resuming the transformation, let's swing down the shoulder like so. Untab, rotate the forearm, bring this panel up, that's going to reveal the hand, and then bring this panel in like that, and there we go. Swing up the propeller blade, we'll come back to that in just a moment, but we need enough clearance to take the jet intakes here and swing them around to where the blue is facing up instead of down. Finally, what we need to do is rotate the propeller blade like this, and then we need to bring it down on that hinge like so. That's going to create a bit of a cape here. And depending on how tight this joint is, it actually does rotate up like so. And then you can bring back down the backpack just like that. Go ahead and readjust everything to your liking. And there you have it. So there you go, folks. There is a look at Dropkick in his robot mode. And regardless of the scale of this figure, it does look good. Is the figure pretty much following suit with the actual design of its movie counterpart? Not entirely. There are some areas where it does look like it's got car parts hanging here and there, but when it really comes to it, the obvious shoulder wheels that it should have here are not present. So, you know, being the fact that this would be a very difficult transformation to do a triple changer in this scale, I can see what Hasbro's going with here. We're going to get another Dropkick figure in the future that's going to resemble his muscle car mode. I'm sure of it. Taking a good look all around on the design of this figure and for what it has to offer, it really isn't that bad. It is a pretty cool looking figure, but it really sorely disappointing when it comes to the paint application because there isn't really that much. Got a really nice looking detailed head sculpt here with some very small red eyes painted on the inside. The silver here is pretty clean, doesn't seem to be sloppy whatsoever. But beyond that, minus a few other details here, like at the knees here, that's really it when it comes to the paint job, which I gotta say, for the price point of this figure, which is $20, $25, that's kind of a bummer. Well, the articulation is pretty much there. I mean, you do have a swivel cut at the head. So, well, actually, no, it's a ball joint, ain't it? Right, so we have a ball joint at the head. We got ball jointed shoulders, which you do also have a hinge here to allow some more movement inward and outward. You get your full rotation if you so want without any hindrance. You got a upper elbow swivel here, which is pretty much resembling a bicep swivel. Single jointed elbows that does get 9 degrees of bend. Due to transformation, there's nothing that can be applied at the wrist here. Nothing at the waist due to transformation. The legs are ball jointed, so you get this much kicking forward, which is good. You get this much going back, which is amazing. And of course, you get your full JCVD split, so there's your steel quality, people. Enjoy it. The ball joint also allows a little bit of a thigh swivel cut here at the hip, but it's also here just in case you wanted to know. The knees are single jointed, but they do get as much as you could possibly get out of them, which is astounding. But displaying this figure is a little bit of a balancing act because that's it for the articulation. There's nothing at the feet due to transformation. Now there are some things that I really wish Hasbro took another look at, or should I say Takara Tomy, either one, it doesn't matter. But yeah, I really feel like that these back panels here, the intake should actually tab in somewhere and stay locked in place, because as it is, as I go about fiddling with the figure, these move around all the time, so it is a bit of an irritation, I've got to be honest. Of this cape here, it has to stay right in place. Unlike other Transformer figures, from a helicopter to a robot mode, the propeller always seems to be quite the irritation. So I'm glad that they actually made this pretty tight here. Also, if you wanted to, you could use this spinning propeller blade here as a weapon for the figure. But he does come with weapons, and we'll get right to it. And of course, they would actually be the missile pods that was in the helicopter mode. You got a small little square indentation right here where you catch it on your fingernail to pry open the Gatling gun like so. God, that hurt. Repeat the same thing on this side here like so. Ah, really? Stick these weapons in his hands just like so. And now our small little helicopter is packing some heat, which does look really good for the profile of the figure. It's too bad there's no weapon storage, however, unless... Wait a minute. Okay, I looked all around the figure and I couldn't find anything for the life of me, unless the instructions have something to say about it. 1 second. No, it pretty much just shows you how to transform him and then slap him in his hand. Well, that was a waste of time. Let's dare to compare with some other Decepticon action figures from the Studio Series, such as... Little Baby Scorponok, Deluxe Stinger and Voyager Class Brawl, Voyager Class Starscream and Megatron, Leader Class Blackout and Broodwing. Finally, with the figure out of the way, all we need to take a look at now is what's inside the package, and that, of course, is the backdrop. Let's get this open here. We'll remove this, and we'll come from behind with our fingers and pry this sucker out. I repeat, we'll pry this sucker out. It's gonna come out eventually. Oh, this feels a little bit flimsy on the sides here. Regardless, though, it is standing up on its own, and that's all that can really be said, unlike a certain other Decepticon from the past. Alright, so anyway, taking a good in-depth look at what this backdrop has to offer, and it's just like I said earlier in this video. We've got jets flying here with missiles firing off, attacking them, and I don't see any mention of an Autobot here. Unless one of these jets is an Autobot, so I don't get the whole pursuit thing. As you can see, it says Autobot Pursuit, so what exactly is this then? This can't be incorrect because this is the same backdrop that comes with every single Dropkick action figure. Anyway, it's time to test how the figure stands up on this thing in its robot mode. And as you can see, that didn't take long at all. It looks pretty good on it. It's not too big on the figure, it's not too small. It's about just right there. And of course you do have a little bit of some spare space here, so you can actually get this Decepticon in other poses if you so want, even though I'm failing at it, but regardless it does look pretty good. Of course though, if I was to put this in helicopter mode, I'm sure this would be a laughing stock. Final thoughts on this set, I can see why people hate it. They really do not like the scale of this figure, even though it is mentioned that it is 1-in-1 scale with the other Studio Series action figures in their robot mode. Helicopter mode's got nothing to do with it. But this figure does desire more. It really does. Sure, you get a couple of weapons here. You got some nice paint here at the kneecaps of the figure and of course the head. But outside of that, maybe a few tattoos in helicopter mode. That's really it. This figure does not offer a lot. These panels here do not tab in anywhere on the forearms of the figure, so once these become loose, this is going to be quite a mess. Outside of the obvious problems that everyone has mentioned so far who has reviewed this figure, I gotta say, this figure still holds something pretty good here. Sure, it's a small little figure. We are paying a lot. Again, not much in the paint apps. The articulation is okay, and I can understand why we didn't get beyond certain points because of the engineering of this figure. But that's just it. The engineering on this figure is freaking amazing. I was not expecting it to be this much of a challenge here. Regardless, should you pick this figure up in the end? That's the real question. Well, I'm going to leave that question up to you, because while people hate this figure, I gotta say, I kind of like this figure. The complaints are valid, I admit it. But in the end, I can still see a lot of people actually enjoying this figure for what it is, and that's basically the transformation. The challenge is in the change. It's a transformer, that's what you're going to get out of it in the end. You get a superposable, pretty good Decepticon here to add to your other Studio Series Decepticon figures, and that's all I could really ask for in the end. So questions or comments, you know what to do. Hit it down below in the comment section of the video. If you like today's video review, hit the thumbs up button. Don't forget to give me a sub up. If you didn't like it, hit the thumbs down. Don't forget to throw in the towel. And until then, my friends, this is the unprofessional toy reviewer Hasbro signing off by saying, when the opportunity persists, don't give up on your dreams, seize the moment. Thanks for watching.